Hello, welcome to Court of the Rings on twitch.tv/LotraStream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and I'll be with you for the next hour, hanging out, having some fun. I've got some news, and I've got some gameplay. We're going to be continuing the story of the Song of Waves and Wind. I am currently on chapter 5.4 for the live stream, for those keeping count, and I've got a lot yet to do before update 39 hits, so I think I'm going to be having to do some double down on some gameplay off stream, which means we're not going to see the entirety of the story on the stream, but hey, that's fine. You can experience it yourself and see if it's something that you're interested in. I have not heard of that news. Someone's posting something about news in chat that I have not actually heard of, so I don't know. I don't know what that's about. What do I have for news? I do have a couple of things I'm going to put up on the screen here. First thing I wanted to do is let you know about some schedule changes that we've got going on and some pretty hype stuff as a result. So, the first thing we're doing is oh, let's try that again. That didn't work at all. Now I'm not grabbing the right thing. Alright. Let's do it live, question mark. So, first thing I would mention is that we have VIP Daily Gold Hobbit gifts. This is through March 6th. It'll shut off at 3 a.m. Eastern on March 7th. VIPs get weekly Hobbit gift gold rolls, and we're extending that through March 6th for everyone. VIPs will get daily free Hobbit gifts. So it's kind of something new we're trying here on the Lotra side, and I assume people will like it. I mean, who doesn't like free, right? But perhaps some of you might be motivated to give VIP a try if you would like to, as a result. The other thing is we've kicked off a really nice 10% Virtue XP boost. It kicked off... That's yesterday, right? Yes, it kicked off yesterday. And it runs until 3 a.m. Eastern on March 4th. We're extending the Virtue XP boost. Let people get ready for Update 39 a little bit. We're adding a VIP event boost. That's going to start on March 7th at 10 a.m. Eastern and run until 3 a.m. Eastern on March 11th. And because of the timing for Update 39, largely, we're shifting the start of the Spring Festival. It's now going to start on March 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern. It'll conclude at 3 a.m. Eastern on April 1st. We're expecting the legendary item eye level cap increase to 520 to happen around March 12th. And, Alright, so when does Update 39 come out? Well... stay tuned. Weird though, huh? Sometimes it tends to be when the eye level cap gets increased. So I guess we know the answer to that one now. But that's pretty cool. We haven't really done free VIP gold rolls. I don't think ever on Lotra, have we? Have we done it before? I can't remember. But I don't think so. Alright, so this is the next bit of news. We've been able to announce what we're doing at PAX East this year. This is Thursday, March 21st. We're having a meetup. Any Lotra players who are in the area for PAX East or want to be in the area in order to attend a meetup with us at the Harpoon Brewery, hang out with other Lotra peeps, and some other games too I'll talk about in a second. And what have you. It's going to be a fun night. We're teaming up with our friends at Darkpaw Games. They that do EverQuest. Maybe you've heard of it. EverQuest 2. We're teaming up. Gets us a little bit of a bigger venue and a little bit of a bigger budget. And it's going to be fun. So, it's DDO, Lotro, EQ, EQ2. And it's going to be a big party at the Harpoon Brewery. 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern on Thursday, March 21st. You will need to RSVP. You do not need a ticket to PAX East to do this. The RSVP is incoming. Because we're collaborating with Darkpaw Games, we're working on how to best do the RSVP system. We've just had a few things come up this week, up to and including me being on PTO. So we'll be getting that out in the very near future. You'll want to RSVP. We need to know how many people are coming. And we need to be able to contact you should anything come up, which it won't. It'll be a fun time. 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern, Thursday, March 21st. It's within walking distance of PAX East. If you're our PAX East walker, like you can look at the distance. It's doable. It's totally doable. A little bit of a walk, but that's to be expected, frankly, at PAX East a little bit. It's still pretty close to the convention center, though, so it's going to be a really good time. And, like I say, it's going to be a whole bunch of people there, and members of the Locher team, I would expect, will be there as well. And swaggity swag. Swaggity swag. So there we go. I guess that's really all we need to say about that. Because it is at a brewery, you do need to be over the age of 21, is my understanding. Not much we can do about that. I would also just real quick mention that we have kind of a sale that people pay attention to, and that is Accelerate Your Adventure. And now through February 29th, it's a leap year this year, so we get another one. So now through February 29th, you can get 20% off the Valars. Whichever one you want. 20% off. And Mithril coins. So when we do our sale on Mithril coins and Valars, it tends to be a moment that maybe perhaps I ought to bring up on the live stream, which I am doing now. So, just a couple of quick notes before we get in game as well, is that we had a casual stroll through Middle-earth this week with Scenario. He went through Central and Eastern Gondor, and you can find that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings. We actually have a plan. Scenario and I have been talking. He's been wanting to do a live casual stroll at some point. It's not happening this year. The party at the brewery isn't really quite the right venue for something like that. But that would be something I'd like to do too. So I'm going to say that that's going to happen some year. We'll kind of try to do some sort of performance version, as it were, of casual stroll during one of these public events. Real quick, before I get too far away from PAX East as well, because I know we have players who play all of our games. If you're a Dungeons & Dragons online player as well, not only are they going to be at the meetup, but the DDO team is doing an actual presentation at PAX. That'll be from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. I didn't look up. I can't think off the top of my head which theater it's in. Regardless, it's on the schedule. And they're going to be talking about making monsters in Dungeons & Dragons Online. Some overlap with how they're made in Lotro, but also they're different enough, I would say. Still, might be of interest if you've got any Lotro, or DDO rather, friends, family in your area. Last bit of news then before I get going is that we updated Bull Roarer this week to our latest preview of Update 39. Now that has ended at this point. But you might want to take a look at the release notes. You can get more information about what we have coming with Update 39, the new instances. We have now available the new 3-player instance, Streets of Rahalbach. I think I said that correctly. Well, actually, I do have one other bit of news, kind of a biggie. We'll get to that in just a second. But you can take a look at the Update 39 release notes. We'll be getting those ready for live here in the coming couple of weeks. But you can see there's quite a bit of classwork as well. We've done a lot of classwork here for Update 39, so you probably want to take a look at this just to sort of see what might be coming for your class and what have you. Let me look at our own schedule real quick to see what I've got written down for Bull Roarer. I think this might be... Nope, I'm looking at the wrong month. That explains that. Give me a quick sec. Uh-oh. There we go. Yes, we do have another Bull Roarer set for next week. So that should kick off sometime, I would expect, on Tuesday and run through its usual time. The other bit on the schedule I would mention is the Curator is coming back next week. That'll start at 10 a.m. Eastern on the 29th. So I know people are interested in knowing when the curator comes back, and there we are. Excuse me. And then the last bit of news, I don't have anything I could put up on the screen for this yet. So let me go and just say, before I switch in game, that next Thursday, I don't have an exact time yet, maybe 2 o'clock if it works out schedule-wise. Either way, I'll have the information on the forums, launcher, and elsewhere here at the very early, latest, probably Monday. But we're planning to do an Update 39 preview as a special live stream. That'll be Thursday, February 29th, I think. We're literally talking about the schedule right before I went on the air. So Thursday, the 29th, roughly maybe 2 o'clock Eastern on twitch.tv/LotraStream, aka right here, we're going to do a special U39 preview of the instances. Spoiler alert, we're showing off the stuff, which we often, due to general ask, we try not to get too spoilery on Court of the Rings. But this one's going to be, because this is a preview of the new instances coming in Update 39 on Thursday, February 29th, roughly in the afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock. So that should be pretty cool. I've been working on video last couple of days, along with someone else in the office who's handling some of that work, and so that's pretty hot. Pretty hot. All right, let me swap over to the game. All right, let me look at chat real quick. A great Leap Day present. Yeah, I think so too. It should be a really fun time. And I don't know that we're actually going to run to completion all of the instances, but we are going to be in the space. We'll have, in many cases, the developer who directly worked on it there to show it off, talk a little bit about it, and take your questions from Twitch chat. So there we are. Sorry, I don't know about the Lore Master Blue Line, whether it's getting any kind of treatment as Brawler Yellow. I've been out of the office for the past week, and I'm not really aware of the current state of all the classwork that's being done. What you said, do we have confirmation? What leads you to think we would? Speaking of DDO, I tried it lately. A Dragon Cat cord? Really? Oh, yeah. So that was actually last year at PAX East. We did a presentation there about building a dungeon, and this year they're doing it about building a monster. And as part of that, we had the people at PAX East vote on various aspects of the dungeon. We actually did a public poll and created a free quest. Sort of think of a free mini instance that is just free and available in that game. And I was lucky enough to be able to do the Dungeon Master narration for it. And yeah, it has to do with a cat turning into a dragon. That's based on public vote. Those two themes of dragon and cat. So, longtime player from France. Wish you and all the team a good day. Long live Lotro. Thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate that. Druid's Fire mentions about the timing. The panel on the other game side goes till 6:30. The event starts at 7. It should be okay. I think, a lot of the people who are going to be attending that panel are also going to be at the meetup, so it might take roughly a half hour from the site to get there, but they'll be there on time. And it goes till 11, so. Okay, Min Data Pack. How am I? You've been working with a group called Articraft, making Middle-earth in Minecraft. I have seen that. It was one of the most impressive things I think I have ever seen in Minecraft. And I've seen some pretty impressive things. So that is incredible. If you work with Articraft, all I can say about that is awesome job. Awesome job. That's super cool. It has nothing to do with Lotro. Probably shouldn't be hyping it or anything, but it's Minecraft. It's Legos for Modern day kids.
No one will tell me the right
And
way
yeah,
to
it's pretty
prepare
sweet.
toad or salamander legs.
I'm turning in a few quests. Oh, I gotta select something. Okay. Oh, let's take that. It's been a discussion for a while. Okay, regarding the class change. I mean, I haven't heard of anything directly, but I also haven't been paying as much attention, perhaps, as I should have on it.
Many members of the crew have returned to the Wave Hunter.
I've been busy doing other stuff. I don't think you can hear this. My cat is snoring in the background. It's pretty funny.
I am sorry to interrupt.
So K-Bar said a name that he hadn't heard in many years. Bellandor. It's listed as one of the bounties that would pay a valuable reward. Sergen nods, a haunted look in his eye. I see. It couldn't be, but maybe.
Let us not speak of it here.
Okay. So where am I going? Oh, I gotta go... No, not too far. As you can see, I am a little behind the curve on the leveling here. I'm only 143. Because this character's really been dedicated to trying to play this stuff on stream. I haven't gotten very far. I kind of need to... Like I say, I think I'm going to have to double down and just play a bunch off camera. Get through the story. I've been doing some of that. Like, I got all the peeps, all the NPCs gathered off camera and such, but... Okay, where's my dude? Where's my dude? I think I went past it. Nope. Must be up. Can I get up? Yep. Yeah, and especially on a champion here, I'm not expecting it to be particularly difficult, but if it might take a little longer to kill a few things. In other words. It's totally not because I'm bad.
Thank you for indulging
Alright,
me.
thank you for indulging me in this. I owe you much for allowing me to join the crew of the Wave Hunter and come with you on this voyage. I'd follow you to the very ends of the earth. No, I would, and never complain. I've always done my duty. First for the steward, then the king, and now for you. Alright. So the name spoken by the young scribe Bellandor is someone he knew when he was young, born in Onfelis, and grew up along the Longstrand. And we both served at the command of Denethor. They were inseparable. He was an empathetic guardian, okay. I should have a Lizzie microphone so you could hear her snoring.
Over
It's
time,
pretty amusing.
Steward Denethor came to distrust Bellandor.
Due to caring more for the people of Umbar than he did for his native Gondor, he distrusted the men he had named Warden of the Firth. He believed Bellandor had fallen under the sway of the Church of the All-Seeing, a religion that at the time was small, growing presence in Umbar. This was impossible to believe, and even today he does not. But the steward had other reasons to distrust him. Let's see. He had fallen in love with an Umbari noblewoman. There must have been spies on board of one of Bellandor's ships. So, the steward Gondor commanded the master of his navy to pursue the traitor Bellandor. Bellandor? Relieve him of a duty and bring him back to Gondor.
I am not a man for whom deceit comes easily.
So he had an opportunity to ask him where his loyalties lie, and his answer did not dispel my worry. They lie with the Umbar Bahabil, the city of sails, my old friend, he said. Oh no! That's what I was messing with the keyboard. Accidentally hit it. Well, let's sorry about that. Let's take a second for him to gather his thoughts while I make my way back. Cliffside.
I am not a man for whom deceit comes easily.
So he said they lie with Umbar, and with his Mishka, to whom he is betrothed. Only then do they lie with Gondor. Yeah, I don't think that's how Denethor is going to think about it. And our raised voices would have proven to me that our friendship was at an end, even if the drawn swords had not followed. They dueled. Belendor fled through the shadowed streets of Hellergear to where his ship lay moored. For 3 days I pursued him in my own vessel. But at last he dared draw too near to the grinding jaws. Among the rocks of Shaddak's Khan his ship perished. Some crew we rescued, but of Belendor there was no sign. I thought him drowned, and was praised by Denethor, and I mourned my lost Belendor.
The Belondor that belongs now to Gondor may not be the same man, but in my heart I know he must be.
Did he survive the wreck of the ship? If he now leads the kindred of the coin that hold Thorngil and your elf friend captive, I fear the history between us may put both of those lives in greater danger than we believed. All because I thought I missed the sea, but I earned my own share of guilt upon the waters, Stampion. I thought it gone, but it never truly is. I say, it's the mission of the Wave Hunter to rescue Nariel's son, Thorngil, and your friend Caradan from the kindred, no matter who comprises its membership. Yup. But tell Lady Nariel what I've told you. Okay. Oh, while I'm at it, let's open our free gold gift. Advanced supplies, plus 2 virtue XP. There we go.
You have the look of someone who bears bad tidings.
Fine by me, Stampion, unless Sirgon thinks to stand with the kindred of the coins against us when the time comes. Do you think he might? But that is some time away. First, we must leave these islands and reach the city of the Corsairs. If they've gone to the settlement of Halrax on the southern island of Zimarzir to see what they can learn of the bounty hunters that they has likely employed. Okay. So that's where they've gone. Speak with the residents of Halrax about this. Once we've learned what we can, we may be able to make use of them in our rescue. Okay. So, let me remind myself where Halrax is. That's down there. I believe I've discovered it, so I should be able to go to the Dockmaster here.
Greetings, kind traveler.
Yep. Yes, that's who isn't Gualang who I first turned in on the ship? Thought so. At the start of the stream, isn't that who I think I gave him his stuff?
What news has come in with the tide?
Okay, well, I'm also trying to stick to the story here, so why don't I do that? I have nothing to say to you. Well, okay. Oh, maybe I didn't, did I miss that then? Well, that's too bad. Let me go back down the other way. See if there's anyone down there that I need to talk to. Nope. 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 Okay. Okay. No, I'm alright. So let me go back the other way and head up the ramp. I know that there have been a number of really cool community events that have been taking place in recent weeks. And I want to just make sure that you're aware of that. Check out our Twitter feed. I've been retweeting them as soon as they come across my eyes. We have Moulin Rouge this weekend, do we not? By the Brandywine Theater Company. That could be... Okay, who is this? Who do I need to talk to? Down this way, I guess. Are they gonna let me jump? Mark. Yep. Mark. Wow. Okay. So... it shows me it's off to the left here. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, here we go. That's true. I think that's usually more in the summer, is it not? For Weatherstock? But, okay, so who's the last person I need to talk to? There we are. Okay. There he is.
Nariel sent you here to ask for information about Sacrefer's bounty hunters? How did you fare?
I tell him the folk of Halrax weren't all that helpful. He puts a reassuring hand to my shoulder and quickly removes it. Sorry, I did have more success than you, but remember I did grow up here. There are not many folk who remember me, but a few. I learned from them perhaps a dozen bounty hunters, met with Saclafel's man, Gallandaith. But of that number, only 3 seemed serious. One of these I heard talk about even when I was a child, the Blade Twist, who must be an old man by now, surely. The other is a woman, Cruel Dancer, and of those I spoke to, she's thought to have the greatest chance of claiming any of the bounties. It seems the Blade Twist and Cruel Dancer have departed the islands, but the 3rd bounty hunter might be here. One called Driftwood, lives here in Halrex. Speak to Manadon, the man who tends the bar here, and learn where we can meet with Driftwood. Okay. That would be this away. Upper level. Okay. You know, that language can be a crutch, and doing weekly live streams is a great way to expose your faults. It's true. I have been attempting to exercise in the near future for my vocabulary, but it is a problem. One I am not likely to solve anytime too soon. But I don't like soon. That's part of it. You know, before that, we were known for saying soon a lot. And other people, you know, who have worked on this property, you know, liked it. It was fun, you know. But I got kind of sick of saying soon, so I was like, in the near future. Turns out that can be a problem too.
I know the man called Driftwood.
I have info Driftwood wants to hear. He went off to the east. Okay. There he is. You were the one looking for me? I guess you're from the ship that ran aground in the recent storm. I've not seen you before. I'm interested in Saclafel's bounties upon the Kindred of the Coin, and I understand he might share that interest. Yeah, maybe. If you think I desire the wealth of the reward, you're mistaken. I rob those only who steal from others and give every coin to folk in need. If we're to do business, I want to know you share my mind. Take the money purse from Corsairs here, and the shield isles, bring them to Manadon and Halrex when you're done. Okay. So, we're doing that, huh? Alright. Well, let's see how that works. Or watch folk around. So far, I'm not seeing any cut purses, or money purses, to collect. Oh, I'm just collecting them from the Corsairs. Okay, okay. I get it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with soon. It's four letters that can say a lot. So I could appreciate that. But, you know, at some point it becomes, you know, people get... It can be a sensitive issue. People will be like, what? After a while, it's a little less fun, as they say. So I've tried to change the vocabulary a bit. Perhaps too much. Should be able to find plenty of Corsairs over there. The daily crafting quest, eating up resources fast. I don't have anything I can say today about resource instances. Sorry. Any updates to report on the new launcher, 64-bit servers, and multi-factor authentication? All three of those are essentially tied together to some extent. And, in that they have technical dependencies upon each other. And it's something that they're all being worked on. I've been seeing some chatter about it. I know we have engineers and others who have been pretty actively working on it, so. I don't have any kind of ETA I can provide, however. It's one of the projects that remains actively being worked on. And at some point, we'll have a whole lot more to say about it. But I can't give you an ETA at the moment. Sorry. Sorry, and also Lizzie, I know. You want outside or something, but I'm busy. I'm being attacked. Alright, let's get the cat on camera. If you're gonna show up on stream, this is what's gonna happen, right? You know this. Yep. Alright, let me just real quick do some chat here. And pet my cat. Oh, yeah. Big kitty. Floof cam. I've been gone for a week, so she's like, human, pay attention to me. And then let me ignore you. Yo. Everyone knows her name probably at this point, but this is Miss Elizabeth Bennett. My kitty. She's about 15 years old at this point. She came from my mom's homestead up in northern Minnesota. Yep. They have a bunch of just kind of cats running around the property to help take care of mice and other stuff. So a lot of times of late I've been taking her out about now, because the sun is a little more out around this time of the day. On these cold winters. Not nearly enough Corsairs here, are there? Alright. Oh, there's one. There we go. Of late, if I've been ignoring her enough, staring at the screen, and she's like, no, pay attention to me. What she will do is get up on my monitor and block the screen. Can't have that. Oh, you can't see the game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm collecting purses from Corsairs, is what I am doing. It's been a pretty fruitful location. Cats will never forgive us for getting rid of CRT monitors, which are warming beds. Well, you know, this house is all right, so that technological change has not fully hit this house yet. Although I will say, I don't think she really... she doesn't really sit on top of the TVs. Get any Gucci bags yet? Of all the money purses? Gotcha. Yep, block the screen. Exactly. All right. Okay. Looking a little thin. A plexiglass keyboard protector. It's great. The company even sends a cat toy with it. That's cool. Now, laying on something, that my cat can get behind. So, especially laying on something new. Be like, ooh, that's exciting. Alright, let's do that cycle again. Get some denser mobs. Oh, this'll work. I know you want out. You will. This should be my 10th. Yep, there we go. Alright. Let's head on back. Consent. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. I've also seen they have these things that'll like sit on the side of desks so that you can... No, we're not going out yet. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to sit here and deal. It's like, what? IR cat, I know deal. There's no dealing going on here. That's exactly what she is saying, is stop talking to your television set and take me outside. Yep. It's not even that nice outside, though. It's all kind of rainy. She's not going to want to even go out. She's going to go out and they'll be like, what? This is wet. What the heck's up with this? And then she'll go right back in. I know this. I was also in a much warmer climate. This past week, I went down to basically the Savannah, Georgia area. My dad and his wife are staying there for a little bit for just to get out of the winter. And while I was there, I did some stuff. It was fun. But I just got back. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So I had a lot of catch up to do in terms of
money
work here.
The direction of our mutual friend Driftwood.
We did okay on.
Have you not?
Got a whole lot done. The coin will be used to support the folk of Halrex who have nothing, giving them food, drink, and making the ill-gotten wealth of the Corsairs serve a beneficial purpose. Alright. Heading back to Voyage's End. Yeah, it was 1 in the morning. It was an overnight flight, basically. And just sort of how it rolled. It was actually kind of a weird story. I don't know if maybe no one wants to hear this, but when I showed up at the airport, I went out of the airport in Providence, Rhode Island, rather than the one for Boston. I didn't go out of Boston Logan. I tried some new airline that was just kind of doing its thing. And I showed up for my 8 a.m. flight at like 6 o'clock in the morning to see like a whole bunch of Chamber of Commerce people, a breakfast buffet, music, photographers, and all sorts of stuff. And it's because it was the very first flight from that airline out of Providence Airport to Savannah, Georgia. And it was really weird seeing a breakfast bar at your airport gate, let me tell you. I enjoyed it. Except it was too early to deal with that many people.
I told you there was little you could offer me that I need, stranger. But I may have been wrong.
I've not always been proud of the life I chose, but at least I can say I chose it. I followed the path I was on until I decided it was not for me, then I took another. Your arrival and the words you spoke have made me realize the road I followed was not the straight way I envisioned. Instead, it twisted and curved. Only to rejoin the earlier path I had been on. Stealing from the Corsairs and giving their money purses for the support of those who need it is a small thing, and small things are insufficient. I need a truly different path, and I believe you're the sort to cut your own way through the world. I will accompany you as you face the kindred of the coins. Alright, so we got driftwood ready.
When I suggested that one of Sacrafel's bounty hunters might help us with the rescue of our son, we must take the overland route to the city of the Corsairs. We cannot risk any further delay.
Yep, we gotta get going.
Traveling to the city of the Corsairs by land will take longer, but we have no other choice.
We can reach the Cape by traveling southeast along the Shield Isles, for the Cape lies beyond the island of Zimmerzir. What do you think? When we arrive on the mainland, we should stop and discuss our approach. Right, so we are traveling quite a ways to Umbar. Yep. I don't think I can get all the way down there. I don't think I've been down there yet. And we don't smack it.
Greetings, kind traveler.
Ah, we'll just do the mithril route. I don't think it's the morning until sometime after maybe 8 o'clock, but that's how I roll. So. If I have the opportunity. So we are rolling towards the end of the show here. Why don't I just sort of bum around here for a little bit, because I don't think we've really been here much.
It is a
And then I will make my way to...
Hoy!
So, because yeah, if I were to try to go, am I? For most of your career, you worked nights. 4 a.m. was the start of the end of your 12-hour shift. I did overnights for all that I was much younger. I was all the way back in college. I did an overnight shift at a convenience store. I also did some, this was also around college time, I did some security guard work. And, that was an overnight shift. It was whatever, year Halley's Comet did its thing. Can't remember what that was, but I remember being able to see the comet a lot at night. Martin, I can ask around, see if I can get you an answer to the question of when perhaps updated tools might be available. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just grabbing a little XP in these final couple of minutes of the show here before I wrap things up. There are ways to get a mount without having to go into the Lotro store. A lot of ways you can get a basic mount. There's a quest line as well that'll award you a basic one. My suggestion for you, Praetorian 471, is to search the Lotro wiki. They'll get you all the information you need to get onboarded on how to use mounts and find all the shortcuts and what have you. There's some good other player guides on that out there as well. But just as a place to easily recommend, I would just say look at the Lotro wiki on getting your riding skill, and that'll get you where you need to go. And yeah, if you can get to the Lobby town of Mossword, Druid's Fire says in chat, you can get a starter horse and the riding skill for free. And I'm sure the wiki's got that info for you as well, so. Alright, well, I think we're basically wrapping up the show here, so let me find a place to park and then we'll do that. How about up on the rocks here? Do elves sweat? Well, perhaps that could be a question that the Tolkien professor can answer here very shortly on twitch.tv/LotroStream. He's up after this, and Druid's Fire's on after that, and you can find our full schedule over on twitch.tv/LotroStream. Hope you enjoyed the 10% Virtue XP boost that is taking place right now. Hope you enjoy, if you are a VIP, the VIP Daily Gold Rolls that kicked off this week and go through March 6th. And this was a pretty tough thing for me to be fighting at the end. Thankfully, I've got Winky here to help, and we're taking care of it. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you... Yep, I'll be here next week, so I'll see you next week. Have fun.